Welcome to the Cardboard Cave podcast, the #1 show in Puerto Rico about trading card games. Thanks for Alter Sleeves for sponsoring our show. Use our affiliate link or code CardboardCave for 5% off your order and spice up your commander. Don't forget to follow us on our social media or listen to us in all major audio platforms. Thanks for being part of our community, and please like, share, and comment below. Plus enjoy the live show.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Cardboard Cave podcast. I'm one of your hosts, John. I have part of the whole gang. Here I have JP and Orengo here with me tonight. We're going to be talking about the Fallout spoilers that apparently I think that Wizard of the Coast just said to the world, like, hey, how about we just give them what they want and just provide us everything in literally 2 days. I do want to say to everybody that last week we didn't go live because it was Valentine's Day, and I think that it was a good idea for myself and the rest of the cast and crew, just to have that day just to be with their loved ones, or if they had a Valentine's, to have that whole day to just have fun and enjoy the day or night if they hanged out during the night. If you guys are not yet following us, go ahead and follow us in all of our social medias, Cardboard Cave Podcast or Cardboard Cave, where you guys can join and get all of our content. Thank you for everybody that has been following us in these past couple of days, because we're about to reach our 1,400 goal. And like I've mentioned in previous live streams, if we reach 1,400, we're gonna be doing our first giveaway here in Cardboard Cave. There will be a exclusive Hot Topic Funko Pop. I think it's a metallic Hatsune Miku Funko Pop for one of our lucky followers. And as soon as we reach 1,500, then as well we will be announcing 3 lucky followers like that. You guys can receive a Magic the Gathering gift. And I just want to say really thanks for everybody that joins us in our lives playing Arena, and as well to the podcast. Let it be video, live, or audio. So thank you very much for everybody that is supporting us. We will be adding the subscription portion of TikTok in the future. We haven't sat down to talk about it, but we will. I hope that by these next couple of months, we will sit down to strategize how we're going to be doing it. So let's go ahead and say hello to our fellow cast members. Orengo, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Just ready to talk about that sweet cardboard.
Right,
a lot of Fallout cardboard.
A lot of Fallout cardboard. Is this the correct one? Yeah, I think this is the best one, because if I put us very small, it's not going to make sense. So
no, it's like, I mean, if you want to make this bigger, then sure, go ahead. But yeah,
I think
I can see the cards. I feel like people can see the cards.
Yes, people can see the cards. So JP, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
That's good. You guys had a great Valentine's.
I had a pretty good one.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Awesome. Same here. My wife greeted me with, she was like, we're gonna eat whatever you want, and I'm like, yo, I want Domino's. Can we go? Let's buy food on Domino's.
Throwback.
And she was like, sure. And the funny thing is that I was like, yeah, but how I don't know the budget. I don't want to like waste that much money. She's like, just get whatever you want. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
3 pizzas.
Yep.
We only got
each
one.
person.
We got one. We got one breadsticks, and I don't remember the other thing we got. The tater tots with cheese, and I think with cheese on top. That was what we got, and I don't remember if we watched the movie or not. I don't remember. I think that we No, we ate. Our son ate. He fell asleep, and we just fell asleep. Yeah, literally.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah. Parents, yes. So JP, you were gonna say something. What's up?
I'm surprised on these cards.
Really?
They are all very like. How do I say this? Because it's a universe beyond set.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't expecting the flavor to fit very well within the what the Magic Gathering is as a generally fantasy setting, but I feel like a lot of these effects just work very very well, especially considering how like they just affect with older mechanics like energy. The flavor on the cards is like very good, very accurate. I'm just really surprised about these.
Yeah,
I completely agree.
I like especially that they brought back energy for this, and obviously it's not as pushed as when they did it first in Kaladesh, but it's still good to bring it back and kind of do it in a way where it, like JP said, feels flavorful. Also, the implementation of the junk token, which is going to be something we're going to be talking about. It's kind of cool. Also, it's very flavorful and it's kind of strong too. Like, yeah, I dig it a lot.
Yeah, and again, if you guys are watching us right now live on TikTok, go ahead. If you want to comment about a card or something, just go ahead and comment it. We are watching the comment section. We will we'll stop and give a chance to read your comment and talk about any questions or anything that you have about the set. So I'm really intrigued about the set. Something that I've mentioned, I think, in other previous podcasts. One of the colors that I don't play a lot, and I think I mentioned it recently with JP in one of the episodes, is that the color that I don't play like mono colored in Commander is black. And there is this Rakdos card that was spoiled today. I was like, oh yes, I want to build him. We're gonna get into that because I was spoiled today. So let's go ahead and go through our first 3 cards. We're 3 of us. I'll do the Japanese one because we will have to jump from the page. So whoever, Orengo or JP, you guys can divide each other between Preston and Agent Frank.
Well, considering I just made a Preston the Vanisher deck, I remember I had him and I dismantled him. I'm just gonna take it away and just go for Preston.
Go ahead.
So, let me zoom in on my page. Please. Okay. I went a bit too far. Okay, there we go. Yep. Preston Garvey, Minuteman. 2 red, green, and a white for a 4/4 legendary creature human soldier. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a green aura enchantment token named Settlement attached to up to 1 target land you control. It has Enchant Land, and Enchant Land has tap, add 1 mana of any color. Whenever Preston Garvey attacks, untap each enchanted permanent you control. He's a secondary commander for the Dogmeat deck, and he cares about enchantments and enchanting.
Yep.
I've already seen a few people say, "Oh, this goes infinite with Hellkite Charger. This goes infinite with aggravated assault." Mm-hmm. So there's a few ways you can do stuff. He's cool. There's just not there's not much to talk about him. He's in green white. You do enchantment stuff, and you get the added bonus of red,
which you can do aggravated assault stuff.
Yes.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna go with Agent Frank Horrigan. I want to preface by saying I've never played Fallout. I know what Fallout is. I want to play Fallout. I want to play the one that people talk about the most, which
New
I think
Vegas?
is. Yeah, I think it's New Vegas, the one that people talk about the most.
Yeah,
I want to play that one.
I have 76.
So I want to get acquainted with it.
So
Okay.
I have to first. Recently, I passed Halo 4. I cried like a little baby at the end.
Nice.
Um, so I started playing Halo 5 Guardians. As soon as I finish Halo 5 Guardians, I'm gonna start Fallout 76. That's the one I have for now. But I want to get into New Vegas. That's something that I want to have planned. Yeah.
Same. I want to at least get into one of the games because people have always told me like Fallout is like a fantastic game.
Exactly.
And I've seen my friends play it years ago, and it always seems like very fun gameplay. So I like the world. It's a very interesting world. So, anyways, Agent Frank Horrigan. He is a legendary creature, mutant warrior. He costs 5 colorless and black and a green for an 8/6 with trample. Agent Frank Horrigan has indestructible as long as it attacks this turn, and when he enters the battlefield or attacks, proliferate twice. Even though he's at 7 mana, that's still a very strong effect to be able to proliferate twice. Even as an ETB, if you find a way to blink him, and you might if you do it like a Super Friends build, you stick this in a Traxa deck or whatever, you're gonna get a lot of value by being able to proliferate twice. Yeah, he's pretty strong. At 7 mana,
so much.
That's the only issue. I wouldn't have him as a commander. I would not have him as a, but as part of the 99 and be able to proliferate twice. If you find a way to cast it for cheap, with cost reduction, cheating him into play, whatever that may be, being able to proliferating twice, it adds up very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So he's cool. It's just it's overcosted for what it does if he was a commander. But if he's like in an Atraxa deck, hey, it's fun if you're not being like very try-hardy with your Super Friends deck.
I completely agree. So this is our next card. Is the T45 Power Armor. It's 2 colorless artifact equipment. When T45 Power Armor enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy counters. Equipped creature gets +3/+3, and it does not untap during its controller's untap step. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may pay an energy. If you do, untap equipped creature and put your choice of a menace, trample, or lifelink counter on it, and it has equip 3. I like it.
It's very flavorful. It's very flavorful.
It's very flavorful.
The only problem is the whole having to untap
energy.
with energy. But assuming there is already a lot of cards that provide energy, and if we mix them with the Kaladesh and Aether Hub cards, Aether Revolt, yeah,
Aether Revolt.
if you mix them with those, you have a plethora of Aether Revolt. You have a lot of energy you can utilize, and having the ability of tapping it and putting either Menace, Trample, or Lifelink on it seems pretty good. It goes down for 2. You have to equip it for 3. It's like a sword. You're essentially just playing like a sword. It's slightly, weaker sword, but if you do have a lot of energy, then
Well, also technically think of the initial investment as 2 mana and then 3 to equip, so you're going to be able to play this more consistently. At least in comparison to
that's
sword.
true. You are right. Yeah.
No, and as well, the other thing is that you might be playing this equipment in a commander that runs green, and you have Seedborn Muse. There's other ways that you can untap it. So I think that depending on how you are, what type of commander you're playing, it might be useful. The fact that you can, you do have that plus that it obligates you to pay an energy to get the other counters. Menace, Lifelink, what was the other one? Trample, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
It is in a downside. You don't pay the energy, but I think it's at the beginning of your upkeep, so you can still pay for it, even though you untap it with Seaborn Muse or something like that. So it's pretty neat card either way. But it would be an interesting build, I would say, if it goes, with the flavor of the world that we're getting into. So these are we're gonna start looking at the cards, at least that were spoiled yesterday. I think these are the ones for the 20th. I don't know if you guys want to go through all of the rares.
We can skim a little bit because, for example, they reprinted Pure Steel Paladin, Heroic Intervention, Arcane Signet, Soul Ring. Those cards have been kind of like spoiled. You can talk about the 3-dog Galaxy Nexus DJ, I guess. This seems kinda cool.
A lot of these, like at least the new cards at minimum.
Okay,
Yeah. I
Because
agree.
we got here Commander Sofia Daguerre. Oh, Daguerre.
Mhm.
3 and a white for 1/3 legendary creature human pilot flash. Gets crash landing when Commander Sofia Daguerre enters the battlefield. Destroy up to one target legendary permanent. That permanent's controller creates a junk token. Junk tokens are artifacts that you can tap to sacrifice and exile the top card of your library, and you can cast that. You can play that card that's turn and only as a sorcery.
I like the junk tokens, honestly. They're very.
I feel like if they said like the activate only as a sorcery is a bit extra, considering you're already exiling the card,
Yeah.
so you don't know what you're gonna get, for the most part, unless you stack your deck. And at that point, if you're stacking your deck, might as well just let the person have it. So hide a counter spell on the top of top of your deck, crack a junk and cast it from exile.
But I think that's what they try to prevent. So you don't just go off, or having the situation where it's the opponent's turn and you have a bunch of junks and you stack them all to try to combo off in their turn. I guess they wanted to prevent that.
But you still have timing restrictions.
I know. I don't know.
But it says here that activate only as a sorcery for the junk.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
that's
the restriction we're debating.
Oh, okay.
I feel like it's unnecessary. You're already exiling a card. You might not be able to play it if you stack your top of your deck.
Mhm.
Maybe kind of rewarding. Oh yeah, you're playing with your mechanics. Activate only as a sorcery. A lot of the times, activate only as a sorcery is just a hindrance for fun.
I guess they want to prevent, because we've seen this type of mechanic for a few years now, where red has turned into kind of this, and especially like Rakdos colors has turned into this, where you're kind of like exiling from the top, but you do it at either instant speed or at the end of a turn, and you have like a whole other turn to use these cards when they're exiled. So I think in fear of just adding more to, those type of decks, especially what's the commander that kind of does that? Prosper. So maybe avoiding like synergy with Prosper of all things. I guess by making it sorcery speed, you're limiting a little bit going nuts, kind of like what you do with Prosper. Because I know what a Prosper goes off. It really goes off.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's just maybe it's going too far. But it's also maybe they don't want to make this mechanic too broken, because then these cards might go up way too much in value, and since it's a Universes Beyond thing, people are just gonna go crazy trying to find all these junk cards, and then they're gonna be prohibitively expensive. So maybe they don't want to have a situation like they did when Lord of the Rings came out. Although Lord of the Rings like stabilized in terms of pricing, but there were a few cards that were kind of like very sought after, and they're still very sought after.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I completely
But your point is valid. True, they could have done it just for the sake of rewarding the player for already removing the top of the card, which they don't know what they have.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just read the next card then.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Idolized, 1 and a white, enchantment aura, enchant creature. Enchant creature has whenever this creature attacks alone, it gets +X, where X is the number of non-land permanents you control. Pump your stump off.
Yep. I wish it didn't say non-land, but I know that'd be too much.
I like this card. Yo, this is like, creature. Whenever this
all that
creature
glitters.
attacks, all that glitters.
All that glitters.
Not only that, it's good for light pause.
Yeah.
Because
it's an extra all that glitters for 2 mana.
Exactly.
Gross.
When I saw this card, I was like, oh god, this is just for light pause. This is a very sexy card.
It's a horrifying card. Horrifying. I can read the next one if you want, JP.
Go ahead.
So 3 dogs, Galaxy Muse DJ, colorless and Boros colors, legendary creature human bard. It's a 1/5. Weird number. Whenever you attack, you may pay 2 and sacrifice an aura attached to 3 dogs, Galaxy Muse DJ. When you sacrifice an aura this way, each other attacking creature you control, create a token that's a copy of that aura attached to that creature. My god. Okay.
The turn 2, you play idol. Like not turn 2, but you play idolize. You attach it to him.
Yep.
Attack, pay
Yep.
2 mana, sacrifice idolize, and make
Yep.
everyone else have idolize.
Lies. Yep. That can get very crazy very quickly. It might be hard to even keep up.
Wait. I guess that's why it says whenever this creature attacks alone, they're
Yeah, but still,
So you basically
this guy's your commander. Oh, I'm gonna put all that glitters on it. I'm gonna attack. I'm gonna sacrifice all that glitters, and all of my other creatures will have all that glitters.
Yeah, you are playing red, so maybe you can find a way to kind of abuse this and have extra battle faces. So you just give a bunch, like you do like a token strategy perhaps, and then you put a bunch of auras. You kind of sack all those auras. You may pay 2 and sacrifice an aura. Can you do this multiple times when you attack? I'm assuming you
Whenever
can,
you
right?
attack, you may pay 2 and sacrifice an aura attached.
Yeah, so you may pay for all the auras. So let's say you pay like 10 mana. You sack 5 auras. You give 5 auras to everyone else, including one of them might be idolized, and the other might be all that glitters. You attack with 3 dog. They might chump it or whatever. Oh, you have aggravated assault, so you have an extra battle phase, and now all your tokens have all these auras, and now they're like 50-50s attacking. Or something crazy like that.
Jeez.
I can see it's a wonky strategy, but I guess you can see someone doing that crazy thing.
This is the
so let me
perfect for Chris. He's the one that built
jank, a lot of junk. So we have one of the bobbleheads called Perception Bobblehead. It's like a cycle. I put on TikTok. I put like a video of all of them. I think there's 7. There might be more than 7. I want to see some crazy person to just make a whole deck with all these bubbleheads. So it's a 3 artifact colorless bubblehead. All of them are a mana rock. At baseline, they're just a mana rock. So you can tap it to add 1 mana of any color. And then most of them will have a second ability. This one has pay 3 and tap it. Look at the top X cards in your library. For X is the number of bobbleheads you control. You may cast a spell with mana value 3 or less from among them without paying its mana cost. Put the rest of them in the bottom of your library in a random order. They all have like wonky effects. I think one of them actually can win you the game. If you like roll 6 dice, if you roll like 7 dice and 6 of them are 6 or something crazy, you might win the game. We're going to talk about that soon. It's like a weird, like it's funny like if someone actually makes a whole deck with bobbleheads and just bobblehead Tron, try to win with that. So they're cute. They're like, again at the baseline they're a 3 mana rock. But they have upside if you have a couple of bobbleheads. Yeah, and if you could probably copy them too. Like if you find ways to copy them and have more extra bobbleheads. Yeah.
These are like for instance like the sonic screwdrivers in the Doctor Who series.
Yeah, exactly. Or like the shrines in our magic world.
Yeah, in our magic world. Correct.
Yeah.
So we have Soul Ring that it's a bunch of different Nuka drinks.
Yep.
So their next card is Liberty Prime Recharge. So we have here a Prime from Transformers. He is 2 colorless, blue, red, and white legendary artifact creature robot. He has Vigilance, Trample, Haste. Whenever Liberty Prime recharge attacks or blocks, sacrifice it unless you pay 2 energy. And to be able to get 2 energy, you're gonna go ahead and pay 2 mana, 2 colorless mana, tap him, sacrifice an artifact, and then you get 2 energy and draw a card. And he is an 8/8.
So people in the CDH subreddit were talking about this card. Not because, mostly because Jeskai colors kind of have like sucky CDH commanders, Elsha being the only really good one. But the fact that you can make infinite mana, and if you have infinite mana of colors, you can play him from your command zone, pay 2 mana, and tap him to sacrifice himself to draw a card and then play him again, and you can draw your deck that way.
Oh, that's
in addition to just being an 8/8 Vigilance Trample hasty creature.
You're totally
He's
right.
just massive.
Okay, I want to make this deck. Thank you. That's amazing,
That's
bro.
amazing.
Just infinite mana. This just cast it, draw your whole deck, have a bunch of energy, just put a bunch of cool energy cards, and then cast them into win.
Wait,
Although
isn't-
you're probably just gonna win with a toss up, but yeah.
Yeah,
Isn't
Thassa's
there-
Oracle and just try
Isn't
to
there
win.
like an artifact that you can like waste an X amount of energy and a person
And get an extra
loses?
turn
or get an extra turn or something
I
like
think it
that.
was an extra
There's
turn.
Gonti's Aether Heart, which gives you, but you have to exile it, and
By
it
the
gives
way,
you an
that
extra
freaking
turn.
card probably is
And
expensive. Now.
there's Aetherworks Marvel that whenever a permanent you control leaves the battlefield, it gets you get an energy, and you can pay, I think it's 6 energy,
Yeah.
tap it and look at the top 8 cards and put a permanent to play.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Gonti's Aether Heart got a little uptick in the last couple of days. Obviously, at least the foil version has got a little bit of an uptick because of the Fallout cards. So, if you want to get your Gonti,
Get it
go ahead
now.
and get it. I need to get one. I know I need to get one. I don't know for what deck it was. But I
Mishra.
know
Mishra,
you're totally right. That's the one.
because when you target Gonti's Aether Heart with Mishra, the Mishra copy will be will not have the same name,
Yep.
and so the legendary won't matter.
Yep.
And once the legendary doesn't matter, you can just start looping infinite turns.
True. Thank you.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
why I needed to get it for Mishra. Yep. Thank you for reminding me. I'm gonna buy it after the stream.
Anyways,
Yeah.
next card we have is Nick Valentine, Private Eye, 2 and a blue for a 2/2 legendary artifact creature, Stink Detective.
Oh,
Nick
detective.
Valentine Private Eye can be blocked except by artifact creatures, and whenever Nick Valentine or another artifact creature you control dies, you may investigate.
Yeah, that's
Also, we didn't mention it, but Liberty Prime has the best flavor text.
Democracy is
your
non-negotiable.
case is my top. Yeah, that's true. Yes, that flavor text is so on point.
Anyways,
Yeah, that was okay.
Nick Valentine's okay.
You sack artifacts. You may investigate. You may use that to sack it too.
Mhm.
You know, get mana or get value out of it. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense in regards
Yeah.
to the whole like Nick attacks create it's whenever an artifact dies, right?
Yeah,
So
you can sack
an
it.
artifact dies, you investigate, and you have that artifact to sacrifice for Liberty Prime. You get your 2 energy and draw a card. So
There's your value.
mhm.
I'm gonna talk about the next one then. Vault 112's Sadistic Simulation. It's an enchantment saga, 2 colorless and Izzet colors. The first 2 chapters, tap to 1 target creature and put a stun counter on it. You get 2 energy. And then chapter 3, you may pay any amount of energy. If you paid 1 or more energy this way, shuffle your library, then exile them many cards from the top. You may play one of those cards without paying its mana cost. Okay, so at most you get to like exile 4 from the top, and then exile any of those 4 cards for free. That's okay. Yeah, and just you're getting passively energy, and you're tapping opponents' cards down, creatures probably. So yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's okay.
That's okay.
It's not
Decent
amazing,
card.
but you're making passive energy, so I guess that's fine.
So
we get reprints from Open the
Yes.
Vault,
Yep.
Solemn Simulacrum, and Mechanized Production. Which,
Yes.
by the way, you mentioned copying artifacts.
Mm-hmm.
The bobbleheads, Mechanized
Yep.
Production does exactly that, and that's a great
exactly it.
reprint.
That's why it's there. Yeah. Are you guys upset because I think I talked about this in the group chat. I said, "Oh, it's so great, Solemn Simulacrum." No, it wasn't. It wasn't so. I talked about Heroic Intervention. I thought it was uncommon because the freaking icon they use, it's so tiny you can't
Yeah.
differentiate some of the colors sometimes. And people told me it was rare, and then I saw Solemn Simulacrum and I saw it was a rare. And I understand, guys, that this is for like a commander deck, but why is this a rare in 2024? Like, this thing it costs less than $1 at this point, and it's been reprinted to death.
Well, I would tend to agree with you, but
Okay.
recently, I haven't been putting Solemn Simulacrum in many decks
Okay.
in a long time, and I put him in one, and it did a lot of work. So
I mean, it does a lot of work because there's a lot of value. But I'm just saying, because the way WotC works is they'll always have a X amount of rares, X amount of uncommons, and obviously X amount of commons in your commander decks. And if they're wasting a rare slot on this, it's a rare slot they could have used for something else, like say Open the Vaults, which again, it's not an expensive reprint, but at least it's a very good card. It's a overcosted replenish, but they can't replenish, obviously. So at least Open the Vaults is good, and it's also flavorful, obviously. But I don't know, Summon Simulacrum at this point maybe should be downshifted a little bit. You know, make it a little bit of comedy. A little bit.
The thing is that Solemn Simulacrum, depending on the artwork and the set, is the price. Because for instance, there are a couple of Solemn Simulacrums that you can get them for like $1 or less, probably.
Yeah.
But there are others that cost $2, $2.50, depending on the artwork. Obviously, the most expensive one is the one from Kaladesh, the invention, the foil invention. But yeah, I understand Orengo's side and I understand JP's side. But yeah, I think it's time to not be rare anymore. But hey,
it's always been rare.
But it's always gonna be rare. I'm gonna grab this next creature, Hancock Ghoulish Mayor. Is 2 and a black, legendary creature, zombie, mutant, advisor. Each other creature you control that's a zombie or a mutant gets +X, where X is the number of counters on Hancock Ghoulish Mayor. And he has Undying, and he's a 2/1.
This is cool. This is Zombie Lord.
Yeah, it's
Zombie Lord with Undying that gets gives your zombies like Lord gives them the +1/+1 when he has the Undying active. So yeah,
yeah, pretty good.
Very, very decent rate.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nuclear Fallout is pretty good too. It's a board wipe. So Nuclear Fallout X and 2 black for a sorcery that reads: each creature gets twice -X until end of turn. Each player gets X rad counters. Rad counters, JP, do you remember what they were?
Yeah, whenever depending on how many rad counters you have at the beginning of your upkeep, you lose that much life and mill that many cards.
So it's like the emblem that Chandra gives you, the one that costs 6 mana, but adding the effect that also mills you cards.
Yeah, but also when like you remove that many counters from yourself. So if I had 10 rad counters, I lose 10 life, mill 10 cards, and then I have 0 rad counters.
Oh, okay, so it's a 1 turn thing. Got it.
Yeah.
But look, actually, and you do that in your upkeep, right?
Yes.
So wow, this is kind of are rad counters something you can interact with, or no? Or are they like experience counters? Okay, so what I'm thinking here now that you mention that, couldn't you just be like, well, you know, I'm gonna do a board wipe. I'm gonna do X20, and I'm gonna pass a turn. No, X20. No, you had to X40. So let's do X40. I'm gonna pass a turn. On your upkeep, you die. On your other upkeep, you die. Another upkeep, you die, and then I win.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's even more cool than I thought.
I might be confused with if they leave, but I'm pretty sure it's just the loss of life and then the.
The loss of life is already an issue because again, if you do enough to like kill the opponent in their upkeep, they're gonna lose because there's no way you can interact with rad counters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's horrifying.
It is.
Yes, it says at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, if you have any rad counters, mill that many cards. For each non-land card milled this way, you lose 1 life and a rad counter. Okay. So you have to mill, and then for a non-land card milled this way, you lose. But still, if you do like X40, odds are pretty high you're going to lose at least 20 life. At least 20 life.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. That's cool because it could be like a kill spell, like a very slow kill spell. But it's very flavorful, which is what I dig. So, yeah.
So we have a reprint of Guardian Projects. Great card to have a reprint.
Oh, yes.
You guys want to take over these two next cards?
So we got Powder Ganger, 2 and a red for a 2/2 creature human rogue. He has Squad 2, which is a mechanic we saw first in the Warhammer decks. And when Powder Ganger enters the battlefield, destroy up to 1 target artifact.
I like that. I think that's very strong. And I like that the squad, I mean, it's true, you saw it first in Warhammer. Have we seen it since, or is this the second
No.
time we're seeing it? Right.
This is
Well, it's
So-
the second time.
So I like that because squad could be one of those mechanics that is exclusive to like Universes Beyond cards. That'd be kind of nifty, you know.
Also fits very, very well
Oh, of course,
Mhm.
yeah, definitely.
flavor wise too.
Yeah, flavor wise too. Yeah, like you can have in the future, like say an Iron Man card, and it says squad up, and you just have a bunch of suits next to the Iron Man. and make
You're
it
giving
infinite.
Watsy information
Yes.
to make a card. Oh, then going, we're not gonna
Yeah.
get paid for it.
True. I'm sorry, you gotta pay me once.
Okay.
I'll read the next one then. Legate Lanius, Caesar's Ace. It's a 2-colorless in Rakdos for a 2/2 legendary creature human soldier. He reads Decimate. When Legate Lanius enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a tenth of the creatures they control, rounded up. Whenever an opponent sacrifices a creature, put a 1/1 counter on Legate Lanius. I'm so glad that when they spoiled this card, you guys were having a conversation of decimals because I failed my math in university. So I didn't know when was the point where you start sacrificing 2 cards. And I think the point is when you have more than 10 creatures, that's when you start sacking 2, if I'm correct, right? So if you have 10 creatures
1/10
total, 1/10 would be
if you have 10
11,
creatures and you sacrifice 1/10,
that will be 1. So if you
One.
sacrifice, you have 11 creatures, that's when you sacrifice 2, if I'm not mistaken, because since it's rounded
yeah, 'cause
up,
it's rounded up. So yes,
the decimal
so
will be
yes.
going exactly. Okay, so that was the thing I was like confused about. So remember, guys, if you
But
have
because
11
it's always
creatures,
rounded up, at minimum it'll always sacrifice 1.
So
exactly.
if you are playing an elves deck, a white weenie deck, and you have more than 10 tokens, be afraid because that
very
guy's
afraid.
gonna be big.
Yeah, it's true. You're gonna be sacking a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's weird. I mean, I get the flavor of being like sacrifice a tenth of the creatures, but you're gonna make Magic players do math. Math is for blockers.
Exactly.
Just remember that. Okay, just remember that.
So we have a couple of reprints here as well. We have Ruiz Ultimatum, we have Tarmogoyf, we have Lord of the Undead, and we have War Room. War Room was one of the first cards that got spoiled by mistake. when this set was like presented to us. So these are a couple of good reprints, because I know that these ultimatum cards, some of them are kind of expensive if you want like the borderless treatment or foil. So it's really good that we're getting a couple of like reprints with different artworks. Hey, it's good. You can spice up your modern deck. Hey.
Yep.
Okay, then next card, we do have a very interesting reprint. I know that Orengo did a comparison in TikTok with the following card. It's Ravages of War. Orengo, you went ahead and showed that the original card, I don't remember the set.
It's Portal's 3 Kingdom. You know, the set that now WotC uses when they need to reprint something expensive, they just pluck it from that set because it's technically not reserve list, but for some godforsaken reason, it was a set that they never reprinted cards from it before, except as Judge promos, and it was some of them. So they use it as a set to just reprint expensive cards because they're only expensive because they never been reprinted before. So yeah, it's literally Armageddon, even down to the cost. It's interesting because it's a destroy all lands card, and generally it's an unspoken rule, or at least it's frowned upon in EDH, to use destroying like mass destruction of lands. You can destroy 1 or 2 lands, that's fine, people don't mind that at all, but people do mind heavily when you destroy older lands. So it's interesting that they decided to reprint this in a set that's geared towards Commander almost exclusively.
And if anyone has a problem or like a question on, whoa, why is it? Because I remember there's a discussion on X, Twitter, basically saying on like why this is quote unquote shadow banned in Commander, and people were like, oh no, just play what you want to play. Is like the reason this is like these effects are like quote unquote shadow banned is because either you play them and win, or you play them and nobody gets to play for most of the game.
And most of the time it's the second option, not the
and
first
most
one.
of the time people don't prepare and play these cards. It was like, oh, I got a card, I want to play it, and just play the card and don't think about the ramifications of the card. Now, someone gave an example of a gameplay video that at minute 37 they casted Ravages of War or Armageddon type effect.
Yep.
And nobody, like the game ended at minute 52 or minute 57, and nobody plays. Like between all 4 players, 4 non-land permanents were casted.
Yep.
Wow.
4 stuff. So it halts the game, and no one can do anything.
Yes. And before people
The problems are
playing with stacks or combo, at least it's things that you can kind of stop because you have things to stop it with. But if you destroy people's lands, they can't play anything, which is worse.
Someone in the comments mentioned is like, it's like you can cards like Ristic Study are accepted because they accelerate the game.
Yes.
These cards are detested because they slow down the game.
To a screech.
In a multiplayer game where games are usually, at least my games are usually 30 to 45 minutes. Extending the game any longer than that makes the game drag on. And for the most part, it's very rare that the game is as interactive and as fun after the first hour.
Yeah.
It just becomes a drag, and everyone just wants the game to end.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I completely agree. I know that there are combos like with the Saga with the Fall of Tran. I think that there, if I'm not mistaken, there's like a combo that you can like play the card and you can save yourself for destroying all lands, at least yourself, like that you can win. But yeah, these type of cards, Jesus, I hate it when some people. I remember in one game they played Armageddon and we were like 6 turns.
Yeah.
We couldn't do nothing.
And even Fall of Thran was more expensive than Armageddon, and the other chapters at least gave people lands back because even with Wizards was like, no, we can't just have this be destroy all lands and do nothing else. We gotta like at least try to make people pick up the pace again.
Yeah.
So even that card gives you lands back. So yeah, no, like I get it why the reprint is there, because probably WotC plucked a card that hasn't been reprinted and knew it was $100, so he can boost the EV of the set as a whole. But I'm just thankful it got reprinted because this card's gonna be like 5 cents, because no one in their right mind is gonna buy one. They might buy it and play with it at first, and then when they play it in their commander pod in a Friday Night Magic and they cast it and they see the ramifications of casting that card, they're gonna be sad that they paid money for that card.
Or the fact that probably just people that like Fallout want to collect the cards and they buy it.
Yeah, and that's fine if you want to collect them, but I'm telling you right now, like you're gonna see it as a cautionary tale when you play that card. You're gonna see what happens when you cast that card, and unless, like JP said, unless you win, which more than likely you weren't going to anyways, people are not going to appreciate that at all. And the game is going to go to the screeching halt. People are just going to complain that you did this every turn that they don't draw a land to keep playing. So, yeah.
I agree. Okay, so we have, I think it's 2 rares and an uncommon, or 3 rares. I think Animal Friends is a rare as well.
Yeah, it's so hard to.
3 rares.
Yeah, they need to do a better job with these icons.
I want to read Junk Jet, so.
Okay.
I'll take Animal Friends because I like squirrels.
Sure.
So Animal Friends is 1 and green, enchantment aura, enchanted creature. Enchanted creature has the following: whenever this creature attacks, you create a 1/1 green squirrel with radiation creature token. Put a +1/+1 counter on that token for each aura and equipment attached to this creature other than Animal Friend.
I like the flavor text.
I'd scratch their back, they scratch you. I love it. I love it. That's
cool.
a shirt.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's a shirt.
That's
right
a shirt.
there.
That's a shirt. Yeah, I dig it.
Okay.
Oh god.
Next card is Junk Jet, 1 and a red, artifact equipment. When it enters the battlefield, create a junk token, and you can pay 3 mana, sacrifice another artifact, and double equipped creature's power until end of turn.
Yep. And equipped for 1, which is very important.
It's equipped for 1. I really like this. I might want to test it for Osgear. And the fact that the thing is, but what really sets me back in Osgear is usually that I have to sacrifice multiple artifacts, then attack, or attack, sacrifice multiple artifacts, and maybe kill someone.
Yeah.
But this allows me to sacrifice less artifacts and still double the amount of power.
Yep. You'll be able to one shot.
Because Osgear requires. He's a 4 power creature. He requires 4 artifacts. That'll give you +6. That'll give you +8 actually. It'll give you +8. You're 12 power, and then any doubler or a double strike effect, and you kill someone. But this allows me to sacrifice 3 artifacts. So it's at 6. Then another to double to 12, and another to double to 24.
Yep.
Nasty.
I might try it.
Yeah, it's a good card, and if you have the artifacts, which you just need like 3 or 4 artifacts to sack,
3.
and you'll be able to one shot someone.
Yeah, but you're
clean.
down one with the junk because when it enters the battlefield, you got a junk. So.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, it's pretty good.
This next card is Veronica, Dissident Scribe. 2 red, 3/3 legendary creature, human artificer rogue. She has menace, and whenever she attacks, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Whenever you discard 1 or more non-land cards for the first time each turn, create a junk token.
Which I like that it's separate, so you don't need to do it with her effect. Oh my god, this is pretty good with
Magic?
Yeah, the one that I have, yeah. Because I can just discard my stupid cards with madness, and I get to do junk tokens.
Exactly.
These ones per turn, but that's cool.
Turn, yeah, it is still good.
That's cool. Yeah.
Okay, we have a couple of like common reprints that we see that's Evolving Wilds, Terramorphic Expanse. We have 2 new cards here. One that is like whatchamacallit, the cloak. God damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cloak. The difference is that this one has flash, and you can give target creature shroud until the end of turn and attach it when it enters the battlefield. This other dude is whenever he attacks, if it's modified, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. So,
and modifications are equipment auras you control. Encounters are modifications. Modifications was the thing that they first introduced in an unset, if I remember correctly. And
no.
It just became wasn't it an unset? I could have sworn.
No, they first introduced it in Kamigawa and Neon Dynasty.
Neon Dynasty, yeah.
Are you sure there wasn't modifications before?
No,
there's another one that's very similar, but it's like
exactly. There is an unset, but it's not that you modify the creatures. You modify. You had a separate deck that had gears, and you would modify the gears.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Okay, so we have Ash Barrens, reprint, Path of Ancestry, and then we have these lands that are what are they called again? They're not filter lands, are they?
Yeah,
they're filter lands, right?
Yeah.
These are not reprints. These are new
No,
ones.
these are finishing the cycle.
Yeah. So we have them all. Desolate Mire, Ferocious Lake, Overflowing Bastion, and Sun Scorched Divide. I think that's why the mana base of these commanders are not as similar as the ones from Doctor Who, due to the fact that we have a cycle that has been completed of filter lands. Because I think I noticed that with the mana base of this of the decks. So who's gonna take in with the robot?
I get the robot. So the robot. Codsworth, Handy Helper, 2 colorless. White for a 2/3 legendary artifact creature robot. Commanders you control have Ward 2. You can tap it to add 2 white. Spend this mana only to cast aura and or equipment spells. Tap it Attach and target aura, or equipment you control to target creature you control. Activate only as sorcery. So it's like an enabler for those type of like artifact, aura and equipment strategies. It's obviously a part of the 99. You could have it as a commander, but it'd be kind of weird because I don't know, you couldn't get as much value. But if you put it as part of the 99, it gives protection. It gives mana for your auras and equipments, and you can make it attach especially the very expensive equipments to your creature. So yeah, it's very strong. Yeah, I dig it. Like if you have that type of strategy, you're gonna enjoy this card.
Yeah, the next card that we have is an uncommon. I'm not gonna pronounce that name. Jesus Christ. We do have.
It's another language. You need to
this
click
is
it.
another language.
Outcasts of the Brotherhood, 2 and a white for a creature human soldier. When Outcasts of the Brotherhood enters the battlefield, choose one. Either return target aura or equipment with mana value 3 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield, or put a shield counter on target creature you control.
Reanimating for auras and equipments. That's good.
Also, note real quick, when aura is cheated onto the battlefield, or when aura enters the battlefield and it wasn't cast, it does not target. It just attaches to something that you choose.
Okay. Good to know. This
This
is going to be relevant here.
If you reanimate a pacifism, you can put it onto a shroud creature. You can put it onto a ward creature. You can put it onto a hexproof creature.
Okay.
Because it does not target.
Good to know.
And there is no time to respond in between. The time to respond is when it enters and you're targeting the aura. When the aura, when that ability resolves, the aura will enter the battlefield attached to whatever you want it to be attached to.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Good.
Okay. Another reprinted card is Blasphemous Act. Once again, and then we have 2 cards here that are in a different language. Do you guys have them in English?
Yeah, you can click on them. I have Gunner Recruit, which is the green one.
Yeah.
The mono green one. So he is 1 and a green for a 2/2 creature, human mercenary, trample gunner recruiter, gets +1/+1 for each R and equipment attached to it. When it dies, if it was enchanted, create a junk token. When it dies, if it was equipped, create a junk token. It's pretty simple, self-explanatory.
Yeah, and the next card is Moira Brown, Survival Guide author. 1 red white for a legendary creature human citizen. That's a 2/3. When Moira Brown, Survival Guide author, enters the battlefield, create a colorless equipment artifact token named Wasteland Survival Guide. And it's an equipment that gives creature gets +1/+1 for each quest counter among permanents you control. With equip 1. Whenever you attack, put a quest counter on target non-land permanent you control.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. Next card is Kite, or Kate. Kate Brawler. It's red and green, legendary creature, human warrior. As long as it's your turn, Kate Cage Brawler has indestructible. Whenever Kate attacks you and defending player, each draw a card, then discard a card. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on Kate if you discarded the card with the highest mana value among those cards, or tied for higher.
I like it.
I like it.
You're just gonna stick a bunch of auras and equipments and just kill someone with this thing.
I agree.
The other thing is a bonus. Getting to drawing Gruel, it's a bonus. But yeah.
I like Blasphemous Act flavor text. Everybody knew the bombs were coming. Everyone but the public.
I like it.
Oh god.
Strong Back is really cool, so I want to talk about that one. It's enchantment aura, 2 colors and a green. Enchant creature. Equipped abilities you activate, the target enchanted creature costs 3 less to activate. Aura spells you cast to target enchanted creature costs 3 less to cast. Enchant creature gets +2/+2 for each aura and equipment attached to it.
So
yeah, it's literally a strong back.
Is there a way that I can make light pause green white?
Right? God, you can't. Thank God.
Dang it.
But you could stick it in Enchantress deck. You could stick it in Tamiova.
I got an idea. I'm gonna use Sithis will be my commander,
Yeah. Okay.
and I'm gonna find a way to just search for life pause, equip everything, and one shot everybody.
Gross. The other one's kind of cool too. Inventory management. It's an instant. It's morals, colors. It's split second. For each aura and equipment you control, you may attach it to a creature you control.
That's
So you
nice.
could be like attack. Okay, I have no. Oh, you're good. Okay. All these very expensive equipments that I had lying around, I'm just gonna equip them all. So I'm just gonna one shot you and kill you. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
So we have a reprint as well. We have Vandal Blast as a reprint with this pretty borderless card. The next card is Megatron's Fate. So I'm telling you,
Almost as Megatron,
Megaton.
but it's also Megatron.
Oh, okay. It's also. Yeah, I was gonna say like, hey, we got Prime, we got Megatron as well. So
It's a crossover of a crossover.
exactly. So it's 5 in a red sorcery. Choose one. You can either choose Disarm, destroy target artifact, create 4 treasure tokens, or Decimate. Megaton Fate deals 8 damage to each creature. Each player gets 4 rad counters.
I mean, basically a board wipe in red for 6 mana. I think it's pretty good. I mean, it's no Blasphemous Act,
Exactly.
but it's still pretty strong. And having the versatility of being like, okay, I can't board wipe because I don't know, no one has any creatures. I get to destroy something and basically recoup 4 of the mana I invested in treasures, which might be useful in your type of deck. I think it's pretty solid. Yeah, I mean, it's the second Blasphemous Act.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Yes.
Next card being Cast Hand of Vengeance, 2 red/white for a 4/3 Vigilance legendary creature human ranger. When cast or another creature you control dies, if it was enchanted or equipped, return any number of aura cards that were attached to it from your graveyard to the battlefield attached to another target attached to target creature. Then attach any number of equipment cards that were attached to it to that creature. This is a strong card.
Wow! Holy
Yeah.
crap!
This is a very strong card.
Wow, that's strong.
Making all your equips be a single time use, because if it dies you just get to re-equip and reattach. This is a very strong card. I hadn't seen this one.
Yeah, no, I didn't see it either. Yeah, it's very strong. Very strong.
I'm
Because
gonna-
that means you can just spread around your auras or equipments, and then if something dies, you get to put it to something else. You never lose them. So yeah, I like it.
I'm gonna read the next one because it goes with Light Pause. So, Mantle of the Ancients is 3 and 2 white enchantment aura. Enchant creature you control has the following effect: when Mantle of the Ancients enters the battlefield, return any number of target aura and or equipment cards that could be attached to enchanted creature from your graveyard to the battlefield attached to enchanted creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each aura and equipment attached to it.
Yep, it's basically a replenish, but in an aura that also boosts you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like it because of the fact that it costs 5 mana. The fact that it brings all of your auras back. Because when you play Light Pause probably might not survive. You will one-shot somebody and somebody will do a board wipe. That's what's gonna happen. You cast this while you cast Light Pause, cast this. You return everything to Light Pause, and then you have a chance to get a 5 to 5 or less mana enchantment or aura from the deck to Light Pause. There you go, GG. Right, you get another all that glitters and one shot another person.
It's crazy.
I love it. Next
Love
card.
it. Strong. Mr. Gutsy, 2 colorless for a 1/1 artifact creature robot soldier. Whenever you cast an aura or an equipment spell, put a 1/1 counter on Mr. Gutsy. When Mr. Gutsy dies, create X junk tokens, where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on it. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Yeah, you don't need it. You don't need to cast anything on it. Just have it on the side. If it magically dies, you get a bunch of junks.
Yep.
The next one is an Enchantment Saga in red, colorless and in red, Vault 21, House Gambit. The first 2 chapters, discard a card, then draw a card. Number 3, reveal up to 5 non-land cards from your hand. For each of those cards that have the same mana value as another card revealed this way, create a treasure token. So they basically want you to play poker on Magic. Let's turn this down, boys. This is over. It's over. WotC has turned into gambling. They want to teach kids how to play poker. Okay, it's a problem.
Gonna bring Auntie up again.
Yep. That's the next card. They're gonna push. They're gonna make an unset with anti cards again, and then afterwards you're just gonna make a standard set with anti. Okay, they're bringing back gambling, boys. I don't know. I don't like this. The kids. You gotta protect the children. Protect them.
Yes, protect them all. No gambling
it's
for them.
it's a wonky effect. I don't know like how many times you'll be able to get away with that. You might get 1 or 2 treasures out of that effect. I think the important part is that you get to draw and discard. So
Wait, isn't there like a companion that the cards have to have the same mana value?
Oh yes, there's a couple, I believe.
Yeah, there's a couple. I think that there's one that you have to have like only even cards in your commander, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. But this has to be same mana value. Literally the same. So you would need to have like all of them be 2, for example.
That's fine.
And if you have all of those 2 and you just like 5, then you make 5 treasures. But that's just it's so specific. It's so difficult to achieve.
It's weird.
I mean, yeah, you're literally gambling. I mean, at this point, it's just literal gambling. Yeah.
Okay.
Then you get to see a bunch of the tokens, which they look cool.
I was gonna say exactly the same thing. So we're gonna hear some of the tokens, the squirrels that have radiation. So when you play a squirrel, that's what you're gonna get. We have the Wasteland Survival Guide that I think that we spoke about this, and the settlement as well. The Nuka-Cola is a food token. I dig that. There is a recipe for making Nuka-Cola, guys. Nuka-Cola is just it's Coke, cream soda,
and depression.
Yeah, but no, I forgot the third one. I know there's a third one. I know it's Dr. Pepper, Coke, and cream soda. That's the recipe for Nuka-Cola.
I dig it.
Sadly, I wanted to do it, but in Puerto Rico, finding cream soda it's bitch, man.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Okay, we have 2 cards with different. We have a couple of cards with all of the next cards are
different languages. Yeah.
I'll start with the white-black one.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So we got McCready, Mayor of Lamplight. White-black for a legendary creature, human advisor. Whenever a creature you control with power 2 or less attacks, it gains Skulk until end of turn. So that means they can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. Whenever a creature with power 4 or greater attacks you, its controller loses 2 life and you gain 2 life.
Okay.
I like it.
This is a pretty good card, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Giving Skulk all your weenies, yeah.
So I thought it read, whenever a creature you control with power 4 or greater.
It makes sense, right? If it did that, because it incentivizes you to have small creatures and then to have big ones.
Like, because it was like, okay, it's both, but no, like, he cares about small creatures, and if big creatures attack you,
it protects you.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I can read the other one.
I want to get the other one. I'll get the other one.
Get the other one. Go ahead.
Overseer of Vault 76 is 2 white legendary creature human advisor. Has the following effects. First contact. Whenever Overseer of Vault 76 or another creature with power 3 or less enters the battlefield under your control, put a quest counter on Overseer of Vault 76. At the start of your combat, on your turn, you may remove 3 quest counters from permanents you control. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, and they gain vigilance until end of turn, and she is a 3/3.
If you make tokens, they work, right? Because it's another creature with power 3 or less. It doesn't say non-token.
Exactly.
So you can just make like a token strategy. You make a bunch of quest tokens, quest counters, and then turn those quest counters into 1/1 counters.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Stick him in your token strategy, guys. I can read the next one then. The next one is Aradesh, the founder. two colorless and a white for a legendary creature human soldier. He has Enlist, which is when this creature attacks, you may tap a non-attacking creature you control without summoning sickness. When you do, add its power to this creature until the end of the turn. Whenever a creature you control attacks, if it's enlisted, a creature this combat, the creature that attack gains double strike until the end of turn. If that creature is power is 4 or more, draw a card. Whenever a creature you control attacks, if it enlisted to combat this turn, the creature that attack. Oh wait, is it double? Oh, it's I got it. It said it double in the translation. So yeah, it just if it enlisted, it has double strike, and if it's power 4 or more, you draw a card.
Okay. The next card is Rose Cutthroat Raider.
I like
2 red for a legendary artifact creature robot. First strike.
So good.
Assault. At the end of combat on your turn, if you attack this turn, create 1 junk token for each opponent you attacked. Whenever you sacrifice a junk token, add red.
I like it a lot.
People were saying this is like red Timna. Mono red Timna.
Yeah.
What the heck?
This is really good.
It's really good. I liked it a lot. When I read that card, I'm like, I need to stick this in somewhere. I don't know where, but I need to stick it
Yeah,
somewhere.
this is really good.
Yeah.
You know what I want to
3
do?
junks is pretty damn
Yeah.
good.
I want to do the bobblehead thing. They look so cool.
Go ahead, read all the bobbleheads. Then there's a couple.
Okay,
They're all
which one-
bobbleheads. They'll
which
have the
one
same
is
effect.
We read already one, right? Was it this one?
I don't even know which one I read.
I don't
They all
know.
have such
You read
weird-ass
Perception
effects.
one.
Read Perception, thank you.
Oh, but it's not it's not here. So endurance
not there.
bobblehead. It's all of them cost 3 mana, guys, and they're artifact
And all them-
bobbleheads.
Yeah,
They
they're
add
mana
1
rocks,
mana,
too.
but each one has a different effect. So endurance brings the following: you pay 3 mana and tap up to X target creatures you control, get +1/+0, and gain indestructible until end of turn, where X is the number of bobbleheads you control as you activate this ability. All of these abilities of these bobbleheads can only be activated only as a sorcery, so before combat or on your second main phase. Obviously, you want to do it before combat. So Charisma Bobblehead has the following effect. So you're gonna pay 4 mana and tap it. Create X 1/1. My bad. Create X 1/1 white soldier creature tokens, where X is the number of bobbleheads you control. I like where this is going. Agility. You pay 3 mana and tap up to X target creatures you control, each gain haste until end of turn, and can't be blocked this turn except by creatures with haste, where
That's
X
pretty
is
good.
the number of bobbleheads you control. Holy shit, you have to do
Nice.
this in an order. Okay, Luck Bubblehead. So you pay 1 and tap. I think this is the one that Orango mentioned before. Roll X 6-sided dices, where X is the number of bobbleheads you control. Create a tap treasure token for each even results. If you rolled 6 exactly 7 times, you win the game.
And bet someone's gonna be trying to do that all the time.
Yeah.
Bet.
Isn't there like a red card or that you can?
There's a couple of cards you
there's a
can
couple
reroll, I
to
think.
reroll, right?
Yeah, I believe there is a couple, yeah. So you
Okay.
can just make this into like a true gambling deck.
Exactly. This is the bobblehead deck. I'm gonna mix 2 different entities in one. So you guys know that in the hit series Yu-Gi-Oh, Joey has always been the gamble deck. This is his deck
Yes.
in Magic the
That's his
Gathering.
deck. That will be his deck, yep. Just
Yes.
stick a bunch of dragons and a bunch of bobbleheads.
Orengo, you're giving me ideas. I like this already. The last one, Strength Bobblehead. Apparently, I know that people in the comments said that there's 7. If I'm not mistaken, I've read that there's 7 bobbleheads. And we have seen 6, so we're missing 1 apparently. So
Maybe,
this is
yeah.
the Strength Bobblehead. So you pay 3 and tap. Put X 1/1 counters on target creature, where X is the number of bobbleheads you control. I like it. I like this.
It's fun.
This
It's
is fun.
fun.
I know.
Yeah.
So we have a reprint of Skull Clamp. I do like the fact that Skull Clamp is getting reprinted, so it's it is in a fair price range now. Out of all of this, the next 4 cards, Hour of Reckoning is a reprint,
Yes.
and I would like to read Kellogg's. So you leave the cereal to me. You guys can take the other two.
I'll take ED. So, Moreno, could you take Mysterious Stranger?
I'll start with Mysterious Stranger. He is 2 colors into red for a creature human rogue with flash. When Mysterious Stranger enters the battlefield, for each graveyard with an instant or sorcery card on it, exile target instant or sorcery card from that graveyard. If 2 or more cards are exiled this way, choose one of them at random and copy it. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. Whew, that's strong. that's really strong. If you do 2 or more, you get to choose one of them at random. The thing is, it's at random, so you might get like 3 big splashy spells and be able to cast one of them. I like it.
Next card is EDE, Lonesome Eyebot. He's 3 mana for a 2/1 legendary artifact creature or robot. He has flying and ED, my love. Whenever you attack, if the number of attacking creatures is greater than the number of quest counters on EDE, Lonesome Eyebot, put a quest counter on it. And if you know about Fallout, then that is the entirety of the text. Because if you sacrifice EDE, you are a monster. But it's okay. Its actual second ability is 2 mana, sacrifice EDE, draw a card, then discard then draw a card and an additional card for each quest counter on EDE.
Okay,
Nice.
That's
nice.
Okay, so this is the card that caught my attention to make this Rakdos commander. I've always wanted to build a deck with at least with black. I played with all of the other colors. Black is the one that I've least played, even in other formats. So we have our favorite cereal brand, Kellogg's, Dangerous Mind. And it is a dangerous mind because some of these cereals can actually give you diabetes. So it's 1 black and red legendary creature human mercenary. First strike haste, and it has the following following abilities. My bad. Whenever Kellogg's Dangerous Mind attacks, create a treasure token. You can sacrifice 5 treasure tokens and gain control of target creature for as long as you control Kellogg's. Activate only as a sorcery, and he is a 3/2. He has a nice flavor text that says, "We both know how this will end, so you ready?" I like it.
I really like it. I started brewing him as soon as someone mentioned them to me. I didn't know that you also were interested in it.
It's ridiculous. You steal stuff.
Because he's very similar to how I made my Jolene, so I have the base for Jolene.
Guys, I'm gonna be right back. I'm just gonna check on my son, okay?
Sure.
So yeah, so he's very similar to the base of Jolene, except Jolene just wanted to pump herself up, and that way, because she only wanted to pump herself up, I had like a lot of powers matter type cards.
Mm-hmm.
But this one gets to use treasures in other ways, in addition to just using it for mana.
Yeah.
Also, I found it funny how I can just go like commander privileges revoked to someone and just take their commander.
Yeah. And they don't get the commander back even if you killed your commander.
No, they don't.
That's the crazy part.
They do. It's
yeah.
As long as I control Kellogg.
Yeah.
Because it is referencing itself.
Mm-hmm.
If you kill it and he comes back immediately or whatever, it doesn't matter because it's a new entity.
Yeah,
it's a new card per se. So it's just different. But I really like the fact that it has first strike and haste.
Mm-hmm.
So Jolene was a 4 mana 2/2, and if you attacked, and it also gave my opponents treasures. But if you attack one of my opponents, or anyone attack one of my opponents, you make a treasure, and I just get to make an additional 1.
Yeah.
This one has first strike and haste as a 3 mana 3/2, so it has better stats, just flat out. And when it attacks, you just create the treasure, so I don't give my opponents treasures.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking on like, okay, turn 1 land, I can do whatever, doesn't matter. Turn 2, I could either Rite of Flame and play him, attack and make a treasure.
Yeah.
If I turn 1 a Gold Hound, I can cast him turn 2, attack and make a treasure.
Mm-hmm.
Strike it rich, does the same.
Yep.
Dark Ritual can help you do it.
You can stick a Magda too. A Magda gives you treasure.
The base of Professional Facebreaker So you attack when attacking your opponent to make treasures, like whenever you deal combat damage. A Grim Hireling, which is a very strong one that Jolene could not run, is whenever you hit a player, you make 2 treasures instead of 1. A Ruthless Technomancer, so you sacrifice 5 treasures, steal your opponent's big beefy creature, play Ruthless Technomancer, sacrifice it, make X treasures, where X is the highest power, like the power you sacrificed. Sacrifice 5 treasures, steal another thing. Dockside, obviously. Magda, very good. This is just very, very like interesting. I started brewing him. I'm not sure if I'm gonna make him, but I started brewing him because I found him very, very interesting on how quickly, in my experience, I made a lot of treasure tokens, but then I didn't have much to do with them because my hand was empty because I made so much mana. I just emptied out my hand and kept making more mana with treasures.
One of the reasons why I like the card is because I know there's like a lot of like treasure commanders. Like I think that Orengo mentioned the most important one, that was Magda. But the thing is that one of my favorite cards for treasures is Revel in Riches. And I when I saw this card, I was like, wait, so I thought about Magda, I thought about Facebreaker. I was like, okay, so there is a way that I can actually make a lot of treasures, and this can be like not the main win con, but it can be a win con. So I can have that in the 99 just for funsies. How like having Emrakul in a Tron deck, and it's not supposed to be there. So yeah, and JP, I would love to see how you build this, because I'm not a good deck builder. I just look for a deck list in Moxfield and EDH Rec and other websites, and then I get them all and I make one. So, but if I can sit down and pick your brain to build this, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
So let's go to the next cards. We're about to finish all of the spoilers that happened, because these are the ones for today. So let's continue on. Who's gonna take the next card?
I can get the Vault 75 Middle School. It's also a saga. 2 colorless and 2 white. The first chapter: exile all creatures with power 4 or greater. So it's a board wipe, very strong board wipe. And then the next 2 chapters, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. So whatever's left over gets more powerful. Pretty simple. You probably stick it in a type of weenie deck or a type of token strategy. So you destroy all the big beefy creatures everyone else has, and you get to keep your small creatures getting powerful each and every turn.
General's Enforcer, Fog Crawler, which is Vigor, and Marshal's Anthem are reprints.
Yes.
Okay. These are all preprints. This is the first time that I actually see this anthem. When I was looking for white anthems, this one didn't pop out on my list. So for me, it's kind of new.
It's a good one to kick it. And there's always also Anguish on Making too. That's also a reprint.
It's a great. I would say that Anguish on Making is one of those reprints that you always get. And it's good because Anguish on Making does not low. It maintains its like $4 to $3 price range. So
yeah, it's a good removal spell too. Yep.
Here's one of the lands for the cycle.
That's like finishing the cycle. So they finished the cycle in Fallout, which is a little odd, but I guess it's fine.
Yeah. Hey, Onego, they're not going to reprint the Modern Horizon lands here again.
No, I know, but it's weird to just do the filter lands in Universes Beyond sets. It's a little weird. I guess they needed something to like put here, and they were gonna put like shock lands, I guess, or any good lands. So they put the cycle that we needed in the in the rare slot for lands. So I can talk about. I can take the Craig Boone, I guess. Boone.
I'll talk about Paladin.
Okay, awesome. Craig Boone, Nova Guard, colorless and burrows. For a legendary creature human soldier, he has reach and life link. It's a 3/3. One for my baby. Whenever you attack with 2 or more creatures, put 2 quest counters on Craig Boone, Novak Guard. When you do, Craig Boone deals damage equal to the number of quest counters on it up to 1 target creature, unless that creature's controller has Craig Boone deal that much damage to them. Yeah, seems cool, I guess. You put a bunch of counters.
Wait.
Yeah.
2 counters, damage.
Yeah, it's a little wordy.
It's a bit wordy, yeah.
A bit wordy for what it does. So it can attack with that, but then you can make it to where instead you can take the damage for yourself. When you do, deals damage should equal to the number of quest counters on it to 1 target creature, unless a creature controller has Craig deal damage to them. So you get quest counters. They basically turn into a fight. So you fight, but then the opponent can choose not to fight and take that damage to the face instead. That's basically it.
Okay.
I guess it's.
I don't like
and it deals damage. So since you're dealing damage with the creature, you're getting the
lifelink. The lifelink.
And that's the important part. That's why it needs to do this. It's a little wordy still, but yeah, I think it's for the lifelink. So
yeah,
cool, I guess. Yeah.
The next card is actually cool. It's because
Yes.
Paladin Elizabeth Taggarty, 1 red and a white for a 3/2. She has Battalion. Whenever Paladin Elizabeth Taggarty and at least 2 other creatures attack, draw a card. Then you may put a creature card with mana value X or less from your hand onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking, where X is Paladin Elizabeth Taggarty's power. So you can put a 3 mana creature into play, tapped and attacking, and you get to draw the card.
Jesus Christ.
This is for Winona, possibly. Winona value.
Actually, not. That seems not horrible. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you attack with Winona, yeah,
you can cheat her into play, but she won't have her ability active. But next time you attack, you draw the card, reveal the things that you reveal, and still get to play something into play tapped.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid. Yeah.
Yep.
So we have a reprint of All That Glitters, obviously the famous Path to Exile, that I have noticed something. I've noticed that previous master sets, or whatever you want to call it, Modern Horizon, whatever, these special sets.
Yeah.
Path to Exile is such a card. It's a card that rarely gets a reprint in product, because when the what was that set? I think it was Dominaria Remastered. We got Swords to Plowshare as a reprint, because I was literally looking into. One day I was building a white deck, a commander that has white, and I was like, I have a bajillion Swords to Plowshares. I have like maybe 5 Path to Exiles.
See, yeah.
And I was like, damn, this card should get more reprints. But we have Path to Exile as a reprint. We have All That Glitters, and we got 2 cards here from the list. I'm gonna get the Elder Arthur Maxon is 1 white and black legendary creature, human knight. Creature tokens you control have training. So training is that whenever a creature token you control attacks with another creature with greater power, it gets a 1+1 counter. This is somewhat like Mentor, and I think there's another mechanic that's somewhat like the same. And then he has the following other ability that's called Blind Betrayal. Sacrifice another creature, and then Elder Arthur gains indestructible until end of turn, and he is a 4/2. I like it. Seems interesting.
Yeah.
Seems interesting.
The training thing is obviously very strong.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
And giving indestructible, well, yeah. Single combat is also a reprint, if I'm not mistaken, right? I feel like I've seen single combat as a card before.
Yeah.
Chaos Warp 2, Valor Extends. I don't remember. Yeah, we missed the card.
Pre-war formal wear.
Yep.
2 and a white artifact equipment. When pre-war formal wear enters the battlefield, return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield and attach it to pre-war formal wear. And a creature gets +2/+2 and has vigilance.
Oh, it's a reanimation spell.
I like
in
it.
white.
It's an artifact reanimation spell.
Mhm,
Exactly.
It's artifact or reanimation spell. This is a card to have in light pause, even though it's in equipment, but still it returns it. If they kill it, you can say, "Hey, yeah, sure, leave it on the graveyard.
Yeah.
I'll reanimate
yeah.
it,
Yeah.
if possible, obviously."
Yeah.
Okay. We have
Single combat
here,
is a
single
reprint.
combat is a reprint.
Valorous
Chaos
Stance, I don't remember. Maybe.
It's a reprint.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
a
reprint,
reprint.
right?
This one, yeah.
Quiet Mutation, I'm assuming is also a reprint. And then Chaos Warp is also a reprint. So I'll take the other one. Crimson Caravaneer, 2 colors and a red for a 1/2 creature human scout, double strike and trample. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, create a junk token. Simple, straightforward. It has double strike. Thank God it has double strike because it's so
Yeah.
weak for a 1/2. Duchess Wayward Tavern Keep is the next card. 3 colors and a red for a legendary creature human citizens of 4/3 hunters for hire. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, put a quest counter on it. For 1 colorless, remove a quest counter from a permanent you control, create a junk token. That's cool if you have a deck that cares about quest
counters.
counters specifically, which are not that many cards, but you get to turn them into something useful, which is a junk token.
Mhm.
So I think that.
Okay, next card is Grim Reaper's Sprint is 4 and red enchantment aura. Morbid. This spell costs 3 less to cast if a creature died this turn. Enchant creature. When Grim Reaper Spirit enters the battlefield, untap each creature you control. If it's your main phase, there's an additional combat phase after that.
That's great.
Enchant
That's great.
creature gets +2/+2. And white, there's more. It gains haste.
Yep, it's +2/+2 and haste. That's great. So it's like if you attack with everything, something died. I'm like, damn, I could almost beat you. Give me a second. Let me waste 2 more mana. Okay, let me just do another attack phase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus. I think, is Sticking Fingers a reprint?
I
Yes.
believe it is. Yes.
It is, right?
I don't remember when it came out. When did this come out?
This is a new Capenna card.
That's
Oh,
why. That's
right,
why I didn't.
right,
that's why I didn't remember it. Yeah.
Breakdown.
I mean, it's pretty cool.
We got Fertile Grounds is a reprint.
And Abundant Growth is
Abundant
also a
Growth.
reprint. The other 2 new ones is Bighorn
Big-
Rancher, which is
Yeah,
very
Big
good.
Horner Rancher.
Very good.
4 and a green for a 2/5 creature human ranger vigilance. You tap to add an amount of green equal to the greatest power among creatures you control, and you can sacrifice him to gain life equal to the greatest toughness among creatures you control.
And obviously, you can go infinite if you know how to do this.
Yeah, it just adds more mana. It at minimum adds 2, so
Yeah, you just need to add like what minimum 3 or 4, and then you're good.
yeah, usually.
Yeah.
Now, Breakdown is basically Beast Within, but instead of giving your opponent, instead
thing?
of giving anything to your opponent, you create a junk token.
But it's weaker than Beast Within because it's not a permanent, it's just a target artifact or enchantment. But still, you get to make a junk token, so it's good.
Okay,
You get obviously Rancor, reprint, Squirrel's Nest, reprint. Yep.
We have these
Super
two.
Mutant Scavenger, no, that's a new card.
I think we can skip them because they're just uncommons, probably.
Yeah, it's one of them reanimates and an aura or enchantment from the graveyard to the hand, so it's not even reanimate, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is just well rested. Whenever this creature becomes untapped, put 2 1/1 counters on it. They gain 2 life and draw a card. This triggers only one each turn. It's an enchantment aura.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a Wild Growth reprint, which is good, right? That
Yes.
that one's a good expensive reprint, right? Because Wild Growth is the expensive one, if I'm not mistaken.
No,
No,
it has a few reprints already.
Yeah,
so.
it does.
It's gone down in price. Okay.
Yeah, Dominaria Remastered, there's a reprint there as well.
Okay.
The rare here is Armory Paladin, is 1 red and white. Creature human knight, trample. Whenever you cast an aura or equipment spell, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card until the end of your next turn. And he is a 3/3.
You get the junk.
Hmm.
Awesome.
We have a reprint of Basilic Collar. I totally forgot that this was a reprint.
Yep. And Behemoth Sledge, I feel like I've seen it before too.
It's a reprint.
Yep. And obviously Blush Force is a reprint.
Bloodforge Battle Axe is a reprint.
Mhm.
Brass
Brass,
Knuckles
yep.
is a reprint. Champion's
Champion's
Helm is a
Helm.
reprint.
The Explorer's Scope is a
Explorer's
reprint.
Scope is a reprint.
Yeah.
Fire Shrieker is also a reprint with Masterwork of Ingenuity. So
Now
the
Pip-Boy.
next card is Pip-Boy
Yeah.
3000. This
That's
is a
a fun
really
one.
strong card.
Yeah, really
Yeah.
good.
1 mana artifact equipment with equip 2, and when it attacks, you choose 1. Draw a card, then discard a card. Put a +1 counter on that creature, or untap 2 target lands. This is a good card.
That's
This is a very
insanely good. It's so insanely good.
For 3
Because you
mana,
could just
for 3 mana, your creature is unstoppable.
Yeah. You can do so many things.
you equip it, attack, and untap 2 lands. So
Yeah.
it was basically a free
Free.
equip,
Yeah.
and that's like so strong.
If you need to
Yo.
draw, you draw it. If you need to make it just slightly stronger to overcome something, and the versatility. That's the insane part.
I
It's the
equip
versatility.
it to a pilot. This pilot will attack, and I will untap 2 lands. It will be 2 blue lands. That's just making sure that you know that I have a counter.
Yep. Always be prepared.
Yes.
I like it. I'm gonna stick it in my Urza deck and put it on a construct
come
and
on.
start talking with the construct.
Oh god. And here are the lands that are going to be
Yep.
available in your commander decks. So like I mentioned before, lands are just normal lands that we get literally every time. In
Clifftop is a good one.
Which one? Clifftop Retreat?
Yeah, that's a good one.
The check lands.
Yeah.
It's just the basic suite of lands there. It's just a really good mana base overall.
Yep, Exotic Orchard, Jungle Shrine. I think this is a new one, Junk Town. Sacrifice Junk Town. You can create 3 junk tokens. Roadside Reliquary. Sacrifice Roadside Reliquary. Draw a card for draw a card if you control an artifact. Draw a card if you control an enchantment. Oh, so this is for both sides.
A reprint.
Oh, it's a reprint.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Scavenger Grounds, that's a reprint as well. Temple of the False Gods, reprint. Basically all of the temples. How many cards? Oh, these are the last 6 cards. I was gonna say like, wait, what's going on? Too many cards. What's going on? Okay, so we have the final 6.
Oh, wear and
So-
tear. Cool.
There is an Ajula reprint and it looks pretty.
Yeah, look at that. That's cool.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah, you could put a
continue.
bears. Let's
It's
go.
bears, yes. Who's gonna take the next cards?
I can do the yes man.
Yeah.
Yes man. Personal Securitron. 2 colorless and a white for a 2/2 legendary artifact creature robot. Tap it. Target opponent gain control of Yes Man Personal Securiton. When they do, you draw 2 cards and put a quest counter on Yes Man. Activate only during your turn. Wild card. When Yes Man leaves the battlefield, its owner creates a tapped 1/1 white soldier creature token for each quest counter on it. This reminds me of another card. It's a red card, I believe, where you can tap it. I think you draw 2 cards and give it to an opponent. But this one has an extra
Humble
layer.
Defector.
Yes, this one has an added effect with making the white soldier creature tokens when it dies. So it's cute. It's interesting. I would never play it because I would never give value to the opponent unless I'm gonna win that turn. But yeah,
Yeah, this next card is Securitoron. Squadron is 1 and white artifact creature robot. Has squad 3, has vigilance. Whenever a creature token enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on it, and it's a 2/2.
you
not
get to
bad.
make squads. You make to make more lords,
Mhm.
basically. That's cool.
And the next card is Boomer Scrapper, 1 red and a black for a 1/1 creature human soldier. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, lose a life and create a junk token. And whenever a token you control leaves the battlefield, put a +1 counter on Boomer Scrapper.
Nice. I'll take Sierra. Sierra Nuka's biggest fan is 3 and white, legendary creature, human citizen. The Nuka Cola challenge. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, put a quest counter on Sierra Nuka's biggest fan and create a food token. Whenever you sacrifice a food, target creature you control gets +X until end of turn, where X is the number of quest counters on Sierra. It's interesting.
Yeah, you make food, you sack food, make it more powerful. Seems like a lot of stuff for not maybe a lot of value.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Because you need a lot of the quests, so you need to proliferate for the quests, or yeah. It's cool they make food. Food is flavorful.
Exactly. Food is flavorful.
Yeah.
You get a Nuka Cola
yeah.
for it.
So the last one, that is a new card, the Nipton Lottery. 2 colorless and Rakdos for a sorcery that reads, choose a creature at random. You gain control of that creature until end of turn. Untap it. It gains haste until the end of turn, then destroy all other creatures. It's as Rakdos as you can get in terms of board wipes.
Yeah.
So you choose a creature at random. It might be yours, but the opponent's. At least you get to steal it for the turn, and you get to use it for the turn. The problem is if you steal something very strong and it wasn't yours, you're gonna be crying a lot. But you get to use it at least for a turn. So
but
cool.
it's Rakdos. You're gonna let's put an example. If you steal, like, let's say a Galta from your opponent, you know that you're gonna find a way to just sacrifice the Galta.
Yeah.
There's
a board wipe. Last one standing was the other board wipe I remembered. That one, it's basically choose a creature at random and destroy the rest. But that's for 3 mana. It's a very strong board wipe. So this one, at 4 mana, it's cool because you steal one, then you destroy everything else, and you get to like do something with that creature for at least 1 turn. So it's cool. I like the other one better though. If we're gonna go with Rakdos board wipes, but yeah.
Then the last card, like I mentioned, is a reprint of Ajula in the border of
Fallout border.
I'm gonna be honest. This border, I like it more than the Doctor Who one.
Oh, spicy. I feel like I've read people saying they don't like this border. Maybe I'm wrong. But
I like this border.
This border kind of works for some colors, but it looks very weird with other colors and other stuff.
Yeah, I think maybe that's the thing. Because it's always green, right? It never changes color. Let me see.
No, it's always green.
And that might be the problem. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it looks good with green. I think it looks good with blue, and it looks good with black, but it doesn't look good with white or red.
Yep, I'm seeing it right now.
Actually, the border does change. Inventory
Slightly,
management
though.
very slightly has on the corners is white and red.
Yeah, but the base, most of the card is basically different shades of green.
Because the thing is that this is representing the Pip-Boy.
Yeah, I know, and it's on brand, it's on flavor. That's great, but just in terms of the eyesight, if you play that and you're not playing like a green or maybe a blue or even black, you're playing like white and you cast that, it's gonna look like green. Your phone's gonna be like very confused on what you're seeing. So, but it's very flavorful, and I know a lot of people are gonna like it just because of that.
No, yeah, at least for myself, I did like the Doctor Who borders, but I like the ones that were like the ones that have like the alternate art. I didn't like the borderless ones that much, but I think that they could have done better for the Doctor Who set in regards to the border, to that showcase. Because again, one of the things that I think that I mentioned to Orengo a lot is that the Doctor Who lands should have been full art.
Yeah,
they should have given them a full art treatment. At least that's my case. So like that, we can go ahead and start closing this podcast, today's episode. So guys, give me your take, at least to the spoilers that we have seen. I think that we're gonna end these spoilers, I think that by the end of this week. So you will see them in our TikTok. So what do you guys think about the commander deck so far?
I actually really enjoy the Pale Caesar one. I found myself enjoying the themes and what it wants to do a lot more than I thought I would. I feel like the dog meat one is just not for me. I feel like there's a lot of like a lot stronger cards in the Doc Meat one. Or yet to see the other ones.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's cool if you're building artifacts or equipment strategies. They have a lot of really good cards for those. If you're doing like playing with the junk mechanic, it's gonna be really fun. There's a couple of good, very strong cards. I'm glad that nothing's like screaming overpowered or screaming broken right out of the gate, which could worry me because then it's just gonna skew the box. I hope that no other reprints besides Ravages of War comes out and kind of like skews the EV2 of the box. It's just a cool, fun set, akin to when they release like Warhammer, you know. So I like it. Again, it's not an IP I'm invested in. I haven't played the games, so it's not like I'm dying to like go and buy it. I'm just gonna buy singles that I find interesting or whatever. But for whoever really enjoys Fallout, you know, the world, the lore, it's a set you're really gonna enjoy, just as Doctor Who was, or Lord of the Rings was, or Warhammer. So it's pretty cool. I like it. I mean, it's fun. I think the interesting part was that they started revealing this set 2 weeks after Murders at Karloff Manor, a set that no one cared about, and we can be honest finally about it. No one cared about the set at all.
Yeah,
it had a lot of failings.
Actually,
yeah.
I haven't had the chance to talk to a local game store, the owner, to see if they're gonna receive the product, because this Friday the Karloff Manor Clue Edition will release.
Right. Yeah.
So I know that a lot of people had pre-ordered it. I have not asked if they're gonna get the product. That is something that I do need to send them a message to see if they will receive it, because I really want it for the land, not for the cards per se nor the board game. I would have preferred better that Wizard of the Coast, instead of like creating more cards, because this is the Clue Edition, it would have been a little bit much more fun to just have a chance for people just to buy Clue, the actual Clue game. You receive a random Shockland
booster or whatever, or Shockland,
and you have a board game out of it. You know, you get the actual board game, but with the artwork of Magic the Gathering and the
Instead, they just did Jumpstart with Clue.
Yeah, exactly.
That's literally what they did, and they made like prohibitively exclusive cards that are only in a set that not a lot of people are gonna buy, because not a lot of people are gonna buy this for Shocklands, and unless you really want to get those Clue cards, and you're sticking this in the middle of a standard set that was just released and a Fallout set that's going to release in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's very soon. This Fallout set is coming very soon. So yeah, it's a lot of fatigue. I saw in one of the group chats I'm in, some of the people, like a lot of Magic boomers that got into Commander a few years back, but they still play competitively most of the time. They just said that they're just not buying more stuff anymore, because they literally are so lost with all the product that's coming out that what they're doing is they're just selling their collection and just buying reserve list cards, because they know those are the only cards that are never going to be in question until WotC finally decides to like say screw it to the reserve list. But until they do, they have a security pillow with buying a lot of reserve list cards, and they just print proxies, or they just make proxies, or they buy proxies for the cards that they already own at least one copy of, and that's it. They don't buy new cards because, you know, the decks already are fine-tuned as they are. Most of our decks are already fine-tuned. It's rare that a new card is introduced where you need to buy it in order to make the deck even slightly or marginally better than it was before. And since that's not happening, I don't know if a lot of people are buying new product, or if there's an actual fatigue, because I see Murders at Karloff Manor and I see fatigue happening a little bit.
No, yeah, like for instance, for Murders at Karloff Manor, the only thing that I got was the blue-white Surveil land. That's the only thing that I got, actually, and I got the counter, the blue-white counter.
Yeah, no more lies.
2 cards. Obviously, I want normalized foil. I got a non-foil. I used it for the tournament of that day. But yeah, I completely understand. You know, just to go ahead and talk about Fallout, we can have this conversation of like the fatigue in the next episode of cardboard of our podcast. But I gotta say the Fallout. I'm with Orengo in this one. I don't know that much of the lore. I have played some of the old games. The first, I think the first one that I played was Fallout 3 a long time ago with my PC. Have not gotten into the new ones. I do want to get into this world because this world looks like fun. I'm into the set. Again, I'm with Orengo. I want to buy certain specific cards. I don't want to buy like the commanders. I think that buying the commanders for at least for the things that I need, it's not worth it. So I will go ahead and buy the cards that I really do want, like the borderless artwork with the Pit Boy. You know, there's a couple of reprints that have that artwork, so I do want to get that. And Sir Kellogg's and a couple of other cards, but I'm not gonna buy the commanders. Again, this is too soon for a new product to come out. You know, we're getting Clue Edition this Friday. This commander decks I think they're gonna release like in 2 more weeks or 3. So it's too much product for one's wallet. You know, So guys, let's go ahead and say our goodbyes. JP, where can the people find you?
You can find me here in the Cardboard Game Podcast. What about you, Orengo?
You can find me here talking about sweet, delicious, expensive cardboard. And you can also find me in Cinema's Podcast. But, John, where can the people find you?
So you guys can find me here in the Cardboard Cave. I'm always available in TikTok and in any of our social medias. If you guys are new to Magic the Gathering, don't hesitate to write us if you have questions, doubts. We do have somebody that it has a lot of questions in regards to Brawl. So if you are listening to us on our audio format or watching this podcast later on, don't hesitate to ask us questions. We will go ahead and sit down and talk to you, and probably maybe invite you to one of our shows. As well, you can find me at realinfilms.com or all of my social media with Realin Films. There's a new show coming up called Conociendo Cinefilos. The first episode is going to drop next week. Just follow us in my social media, that you can know. And thank you for everybody that has been watching us and supporting this show and channel. So we will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.